Hi, welcome to your daily dose of therapy. I'm Heather. If you're new to this channel, this is a channel specifically for couples to help relieve some tension and conflicts, get a better understanding of therapy. It's not supposed to replace any therapy. It's just supposed to be informational for maybe people who don't want to go to therapy, who can't afford to go to a therapist, or those kinds of things, just to kind of learn more about their relationship. So today what we're going to be doing is how to reflectively listen in a conflict between a couple. So let's say in an example, I'm going to use me and my partner. So I might be upset about dishes. He might not be doing the dishes enough. This is completely hypothetical, by the way, but let's suppose that I'm just so tired that he is not doing the dishes and I'm doing the dishes all the time. And maybe it gets to the point where I say some mean things. I'm like, oh, you're gross, or you're disgusting, or I'm closing and slamming cabinets because you won't listen to me. And I'm just so tired of coming home and there being a pile of dishes. Maybe it turns into a verbal disagreement where we're yelling at each other. And thus we come to couples therapy. So in this case, a therapist might coach you on some communication skills. And this is one that we're going to be utilizing today, is learning how to reflectively listen to each other and work through that conflict. Now, this could be happening right after the conflict, or if either of you need space, then this would be happening maybe later when we cool off. One other thing to note is when you are talking, before we get into this, is that both partners deserve the space to be heard. This is kind of a baseline assumption when you are walking through a conflict. And we can kind of hold this in the back of our mind when we're going through this reflective listening template. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to just go over what this looks like. So let's suppose, again, using the same example, that I want to talk about how I feel and how upset I am. I'm going to avoid using the word you, because you can feel a little antagonistic when you're coming to your partner. You do this and you do this and you do this. It's not saying that the partner isn't doing something wrong. Maybe they really are. But this idea of saying you can be a little upsetting to a partner. It can exacerbate the conflict. So we're just going to try to avoid that. In this scenario, I feel upset when my partner does not do the dishes when I tell him to. There might be some other things that he doesn't do, like he doesn't clean other things, because I think a clean house represents a good person, a hardworking person, a self-disciplined person, and because I grew up in a family that was not very clean. So I want to kind of rewrite that, and I really want a clean house. It really matters to me. And I would like you to do the dishes once per week. So just saying that out loud, getting those things out can help release a little bit of tension. Maybe not for you. So the next part of this is actually a response from your partner. So in this case, in my couple session, I would actually hand this to both partners. I would say, okay, we're going to go through each sheet and this is what we're going to say. So partner one, me, started with the top card, and now partner two, my partner, is going to respond this way. So I heard you say you feel upset when I don't clean enough because having a clean house is very important to you. You would like for me to do the dishes once per week. Now, usually at this point, both partners have kind of understood what each other has said. Both partners, well, at least me in this scenario, would feel very heard, partner A, because the partner B literally reflected everything that I said, right? So it feels kind of validating to hear your partner say those things out loud. Now, we're not done, right? We haven't made any compromises. Nothing's really happened, but this is really helpful in that conflict to really understand each partner's role and feelings and thoughts. because those are kind of what's dictating these cycles that we're having. So we're going to go back to the top. Now, in this case, my partner, my boyfriend, quote unquote, might feel guilty when so partner A gets upset with him about not being cleanly enough because it makes me feel bad about myself. And I would like for you to not, and they might even say something like this, not nag me about doing the dishes. And I use the word nag actually because recently with a couples client, I kind of heard some language that was like that. And sometimes those kinds of things will come up, right? It doesn't always feel good to be called naggy, but it happens. And it's okay. It's okay to be honest with your partner, but you also need to be communicating enough with your partner. So I heard you say you feel sad or bad. I can't even remember the word I used when I nag you about cleaning because it makes you feel less than or upset, and you would like for me to not nag you as much about these things. And this might be kind of a typical example of what may happen with a couple, not necessarily specifically the dishes, but just in general. And I say that because sometimes when we're so caught up in the argument, it feels like you against them, right? Well, my partner's not doing the dishes, they don't respect me, and that's not okay. And so you start to kind of blame, well, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. And we're not kind of taking a moment and taking a step back and allowing both partners to be heard and saying, you know, wow, like I didn't realize you felt like that. And I didn't realize you felt this pressure to do the dishes. And it really kind of changes our perspective a little bit. Now, this may or may not work for you. This is generally just a really good template to have on hand in conflicts. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below. But that is all I have for couples and reflective listening. And I really hope that you enjoyed. Thank you.